If you run a trades or construction business, you already know that the right crew is the difference between working a lot or working less, between making good money or making none at all. And for you, it might even be the difference between enjoying your business or wanting to burn it down. But building a stable crew full of good people who get the job done is no easy feat. I mean, everyone blames the talent shortage and then you've got the competition, sure. But let's be honest, why is it that it's always the same 2 or 3 companies that seem to hire all the best people? So it's not really a shortage, but it's more a systems problem, and they've got one, but most owners don't. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 3 systems you need to attract, hire, and keep qualified people in the field so you can say yes to more jobs, stop working stupid hours, and finally have the crew you actually deserve. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Quentin. I run a consulting business called Complete Crew, and I help trade and construction owners build crews that stay for years. Over the past decade, I've helped more than 100 trades and construction businesses hire more than 500 people. And from that work, I've developed the system I'm about to show you, which is called the Field Crew Roadmap. So, let's start with what we all want, which is reliable field crews. Because, I mean, who doesn't like a reliable field crew? Now, if you want that reliable field crew, you're going to need a couple of systems. You're going to need 3 systems, as I said. You're going to need a system to attract people. You're going to need one to hire them. And you're going to need a last one to keep them on board. Because let's be honest, it's nice to hire people, but it's even nicer to keep them. This is the base of the system. Now, the reason you don't have the crew you want is probably because you've got one of these 3 problems. You know, when you put out a job ad and then people apply, but then when you look at who's applying, you're not happy at all. And that's because you get flaky applicants. The second problem is that when you do hire someone, oftentimes it feels risky. So those risky hires makes you feel like hiring is kind of a coin toss and nobody likes that. And even if you do find the right people, the last problem is that people leave. So you've got a churning crew. So this is what we're going to solve. Now, on the attract side, we're going to get you from having flaky applicants to getting quality applicants, not once, not twice, but actually every week. Now, on the hiring side, we're going to go from risky hires to hiring people who can do the job, because we want capable people every month. Now, even if your business isn't at a size where you want to hire people every month, you still should be able to fill your role within a month or so. And then once we've hired them, we're going to look at the last part, which is the key part, and we're going to go from a churning crew to a stable crew every year. So using the Field Crew Roadmap, we're going to attract qualified applicants every week, hire capable people every month, and keep a stable crew every year. Now, to do these things, we've got some missions, some things we need to be true before we can actually do this. So let's get to work. Now, my goal here is not to give you some fancy sounding tactics and then having you going right back to work without implementing any of this. So if you want, get a pen and paper or follow along in your head, but this is a do thing, not a thinking thing. As we go along this map, I want you to think, okay, how is this working out for me right now? Am I doing this? Am I not? What would happen if I would use that? So this is a complete system. Please steal it, please use it. Okay, good. So when we want to attract people, the first thing that people are seeing is our brand. And because of that, we are going to polish it. And by polishing the brand, I mean that we are going to curate our online presence. See, the thing is that when people hear about you, whether from someone they know, or your job ad, or they've seen one of your vans driving around, they are going to research you online. And the problem is that if your online presence, your online brand is full of memes on Facebook and then a picture on Instagram from 2013 where it's you just chugging beers with your mates and having a website that looks like it's 1999, well, that thing is actually costing you applicants, because choosing an employer is a big decision. It's just like when you want to buy a new car or buy a piece of software or spend a significant amount of money on anything else. You're going to research it, and you're probably going to research it through social media and their website. Well, the same exact thing is true when you're hiring people. Now, I'm not going to tell you to turn into a marketer and web designer or anything like that. What I want you to do, or what I advise you to do, is really simple. On your social media, which is usually just Facebook and Instagram, there are a couple super easy things you can add, which are also going to help you get more customers. So that's a bonus, because customers and applicants are thinking the same when they're looking at you online. They're thinking, is that company right for me? Can they help me? Will they get the job done? My advice to you is show some before and after of your work. So if you're in kitchen remodeling, take a picture of the old kitchen and then take a second picture during the work, and then take a third picture of the finished work and bundle that together so that potential clients can see how good you are at installing kitchens, and potential hires will see that you do a good job remodeling kitchens, and that will ultimately make them want to be a part of that story. Second thing you want are testimonials. And testimonials can either be from happy clients or happy employees, because at the end of the day, happy faces will make people trust you more, and people, whether they're applicants or future clients, trust other people more than they trust you, because, I mean, you're the business owner. You can say whatever you want. But those employees and those clients, they're more honest than you, or at least that's what people think. And the last thing you want is just show people that you're hiring. You can do it through writing in your bio, but you can also just make a post or a job ad right on your social media. So now that you have polished your brand, we are going to do the next thing, which is building your job ad. Now, building your job ad is really simple. When you're building that ad, I want you to think that you are going to send that to your best friend, because the way you talk to your friend is much more authentic and genuine and just nicer to hear, because that's actually you. Because the mistake I see a lot of business owners make is that they either let someone else write their job ads, or they, God forbid, use AI. And the thing is, no field technician gets excited by an ad that starts with "in today's fast-pacing world" or something like that. So just start off with who you are, who you're looking for, what you're going to do, what the requirements are, and what you offer them. Just those 5 simple things. But please don't fall into the ideal candidate trap. And what I mean by that is that when you're writing a job ad, you start daydreaming about who you want to hire. First, you start at 2 years of experience. But then you think, hey, wouldn't it be nice if I got a senior with 5 to 10 years of experience? And so you write 5 or 10 years. When you're also okay with hiring someone with 2 years of experience, or maybe even someone who's fresh out of trade school with the right attitude, look at your crew. Look at the people doing a good job. Look at how they were when they came in. And if that's still acceptable to you, write that down. And on the offer side, I want you to write down the salary or the salary range, because there were studies conducted by Indeed and by LinkedIn, and they found out that 50 to 75% of people don't apply for a job if there is no salary mentioned in there. Now, feedback I get from my clients quite often is that they're not going to do that because they're scared that they're going to get in trouble with their other employees, because suddenly they think that everybody's going to ask for a raise. Well, from experience, I can tell you that's not true. And if people ask you for a raise, well, you'd rather have them asking you for a raise than asking your competitor for more salary. So it's up to you. And then once we've built the job ad comes the fun part. You're going to attract workers. Now, when it comes to attracting workers, there are 4 systems you should always have running. When you want to attract people, first you have websites. Websites can be Indeed, Seek, or your own job websites or similar job websites. Now, the thing is that usually they're not the best ways to attract people because that's where you get the most flaky applicants from. But once in a while, you get a good one. The thing here is that it usually doesn't cost you a lot of money. Sometimes it's even free. So this should be your always on strategy. Every 90 days, you refresh them. And even if you get garbage 9 times out of 10, well, that 1 time out of 10, you get someone who's really good. It's still a win. Now, the second thing is good old word of mouth. And this is the cheapest way to attract people. Now, most business owners I work with do this completely wrong. They ask the question to their team, who do you know that's looking for a job as a mason right now? And when you ask them that, they will tell you, I don't know, or I'll think about it. But the truth is that you're just asking the right question. You're just framing it wrong. You should ask people instead, who are the 3 best masons you know outside this company? And then they will give you John, Jack, and Joe. And then you can proceed to ask for their number and contact them. So that's the difference. Also, when you hire somebody new, you should always do the same thing. When someone leaves their employer, they turn into the trusted person for every displeased or disappointed person in that firm. And they're getting the water cooler talks about, yeah, I'm not happy either. Where are you going? What are you going to earn there? And they start chatting so they know who is actually thinking about leaving. So whenever you hire somebody new, you ask them 2 questions. The first one is, who of your ex-coworkers do you know that's also looking for a new challenge? And they might just give you a few names. But you also ask them the same other question, which is, at your other firm, who were the 3 best carpenters there, for example, or HVAC techs, or whatever their firm was about. And that's how you turn your new hires into your new recruiters. Since somebody from that firm already joined your firm, you already built trust with those people you could then potentially hire. So that's the warmest audience you will ever get. After word of mouth, we've got recruiters, and you can then have them in-house, or they might be external through agencies. Now, if you've got them on payroll, that's great. If you want to spend the money to use them to hire people, which is usually $8 to $10, $15, $20,000, please do it. But if it's not worth the money to you right now, you can just easily skip this one. But the last one is social media, and this is the most important one. You see, everybody, or almost everybody, is on social media. So if you post your job on social media, your employees can share it with other people. But strangers will see it too. And those strangers can send you a message or can send it to another stranger who they know is looking for work. So people don't only share memes, they also share job ads. Now, here's the magic. What I want you to do is to boost those job ads with around $5 to $10 a day. Because by boosting, you're going to tell Facebook or Instagram, hey, show this to more qualified people. And that's how you are going to get a lot of applicants. Over the past years, I've averaged hires at $8.73. That's the average we got. And I'm talking about electricians, HVAC techs, roofers, site managers, superintendents, estimators, drawers, and everything in between. This is the new best way to hire people. Or no, let me correct that. The best way is to use all of them at once, because you never know where your people or your next hire is going to come from. So if we do this, we polish the brand, and then we build the job ads, and then we attract the workers by boosting your jobs on social media and posting your jobs on website and using word of mouth. You are going to get your quality applicants in every week. Now that we've got people, we're going to look at how we're going to turn those risky hires into capable people every month. Now, I want you to do something for me. Hiring is sales, okay? Hiring is fun. And while you're qualifying your workers, I want you to do that just like you are qualifying a job or a prospect. And what I mean by that is when you walk on a job site, you're going to ask some questions about the deadlines, the budget, what the client is actually looking for, but you're also going to look for some red flags. And when you're done asking your questions and you've spotted the potential red flags, you know if you want to take this job or not. Well, it's the same thing with hiring. I want you to define 5 questions that you absolutely want an answer to know if the guy or girl you're interviewing is a good one. If they don't pass that test, well then, okay, thank you for coming, you walk them out, and that's it, because you've got quality applicants coming in every week now. Don't forget that you've got the power of choice. So once we've qualified the workers, we're going to pitch them. Again, just like in sales, we're going to pitch the opportunity of working at your firm. To do that, we're going to build a simple presentation. That presentation, just tell them something about your firm, about the job, about who you're looking for, about what they're going to get, and what their future might look like. So in terms of promotion and stuff. And then you want to show them why it's fun to work at your firm. So, and by fun, I mean, if you do beers on Friday or barbecues on Friday, or you have a yearly getaway, or you go karting every trimester or paintballing, put that in there, show some pictures, because 50% of the people are visual. So if you show them a clear presentation, you will get a lot more people on board than if you were just to talk about it. That's the first benefit. And the second benefit is when you're using that presentation, it offers you a roadmap. So you know what you have to talk about, in what order. And if you're ever rushed, you still follow the same procedure. You will go through it quicker, but you won't forget to tell people things. Now, you can turn that into a presentation, or some of my clients just have it printed out on a laminated piece of paper with some pictures and some bullets just to go over it with people. But whatever you do, don't forget that you are pitching them an opportunity to work for you. You are positioning yourself as the employer of choice. And if that person doesn't think you're the right fit for them, it's okay. No hard feelings, but please, no more settling for who's available. Once we've qualified the workers and pitched the opportunity, we're going to close the hire. So just like you would close a deal with a potential client, you're going to close a hire. Now, we're going to do that really simply. We're going to make them an offer, but we're going to add 2 things, which are urgency and scarcity. The offer is the salary, the perks, when they can start, what they need to do, and everything else that they will get from you now and in the future. One of my clients puts out fantastic job offers, and they're almost 2 pages long because they add every possible thing under the sun. So apparently they've got a great little cafe next to their offices. And every Friday after work, they all go to that cafe and have a couple of drinks and something to eat, and the company pays for it. So that goes in there. They go bowling. They do lots of stuff. They even put in that they just ordered new tools from Milwaukee and new vans from Ford and whatever it was. And they put as many details in there that could make an applicant say, oh, I'm getting that. That's nice. So whatever things you are offering people, like tools and vans and trucks and whatever seems normal to you, just put it in there, because even though it's normal for you, for other people, it's a bonus. Now, about the urgency, we're going to give them 48 hours to say yes. And if they don't, too bad. If they say they need more time or they have other interviews going on, that's too bad too. We want people to choose us. We have to be the number 1 choice for people. And if we're not that, yeah, well, that's okay. That happens. You won't be able to hire everybody anyway. And then about the scarcity, you're going to tell them how many applicants you had. Because then you can genuinely say, hey, Sam, look, I would like to offer you the job. You will get X, Y, and Z. But the thing is, I need a reply from you or an answer from you in the next 48 hours because I've had 17 people applying for this position. And, well, you're the one I would really like to get on board, but I can't lose those other good people too, so I'll hear from you in 2 days. And so now they know that you've got options and they've got a decision to make. And this is what flushes out the people for who you're a backup plan or the second choice. So that's our hiring framework. First, we qualify the workers, then we pitch them the opportunity, and we close the hire using urgency and scarcity. And now we're going into the fun part, the keeping part, because we both know that it's good to hire people and it's nice they say yes, they start. Great. But then comes the challenging part, and it's the part where we actually make the money. It's keeping them on board. Now, the best retention strategy is to prevent everything that could go wrong reasonably so that people work for you longer because you remove the reasons they might have to leave you. Let's look at how we're going to keep people by going from a churning crew to a stable crew that stays for years. Good? The first thing we're going to do is set standards. Now, setting standards is nothing more than telling people how you work, what's acceptable at your firm, what's not, what good looks like, aka your onboarding process. Now, onboarding shouldn't be something boring or tedious, and ideally, it happens around 1 week out before they start. It can be a meeting, it can be an email, it can be a video, I don't care what it is. But you just tell people where they're expected, when, at what time, and what they should bring. That way, they already have the best start possible, and then you're going to give them a plan about their first 30 days. So for example, in the first 30 days, their goal is to get acquainted with firm, their colleagues, how you're working, your processes, yada, yada, yada. And then in the next 30 days, meaning by the end of day 60, what they should have achieved. So for example, they should be able to work alone, or they should be able to document their work in your software or on their tablet. And by the end of the next 30 days, which is day 90, we're looking at what they need to have mastered. So it might be a new technique, it might be a certification they've got or had to renew or something like that. But give people clear goals of what you expect of them in their first 90 days. Now, the best tip I can give you is to put in there the reasons why it usually doesn't work out. Like people are too slow, or they happen to make the same mistakes. But whatever was the deal breaker with previous employees, just try to put them in there as best you can so that people know in advance how, what, when things are done at your firm. Once you've set the standards and they actually started, we're going to coach them. When you're coaching your workers, I mean, there are two distinct ways to do it. When you're looking at coaching on the job, you've got two types. You've got proactive coaching and you've got reactive coaching. Now, proactive coaching is telling them how they have to do something before they do it. And reactive coaching is telling them how good or not they did it once they've done the thing and how you would like for them to do it next time. The problem is that if you miss out on the proactive coaching side, all you do is reactive coaching. All you do is saying what they didn't do right, and you look like an ass, and they will think that it's never good enough for you, but you never show them what good looks like in the first place. When you don't do reactive coaching, well, you give them instructions, but they never know if they done a right job or not. So that's why it's always this plus that. It's always proactive. Oh, damn it, I missed the letter. Proactive plus reactive. Now, setting standards and coaching people is one thing, but I want to talk to you about the biggest reason why people leave firms. And you've probably heard a lot of people say people will leave for $1 or more. Maybe you've said it yourself. But that's not true. Even when that's what people are telling you, it's usually because that's the easiest thing for them to say. It's easier to say, yeah, I got $1 more per hour at that firm, so that's why I left. But two things happen. The first one is that they thought that they couldn't get any more money at your firm, so they left, which might not be true. But the second thing is that Very often, people are frustrated, and that's why they take interviews. And then the dollar more is just a tool that the other firm use to pry your worker away, just to sweeten the deal. If you were an employee and I were a potential employer and I were to tell you, hey, look, man, if you come over here, you'll have a better work-life balance, but you'll make the exact same money. Well, chances are that's not going to motivate you. But if I tell you that if you join my firm, you will have better work-life balance and you'll also make more money, well, it's much more easy for you to say yes because you're getting two things instead of one. So people don't often leave for more money. What you want to do here is to actually map their future. And by mapping the future, I mean, what do they have to do to get a salary increase? What do they have to do to get promoted from worker to superintendent or to site manager? But also, what happens if their back starts hurting and they can't do field work anymore for a while? Are they going to get sacked, or are there possibilities now or in the future to do some admin work? But whatever you do, give people a clear picture of what the career ladder, so to speak, looks like at your firm. Because if people know what you expect of them, if they get regular feedback on their work, and they know what's possible for them at your firm, people have no reason to leave. That's how we go from a churning crew to a stable crew by setting standards, coaching workers, and mapping future. So here we have the nice version, because I know my handwriting isn't all that. Now the system is called the Field Crew Roadmap, and it's got three systems. We've got the applicant flywheel to get qualified applicants every week. We've got the employer of choice system to hire capable every month. And then we've got the retention blueprint to keep stable crews every year. Now, if you want to know what your biggest bottleneck is, my advice to you is you take three colors. You take red for if it's bad, yellow if it needs work, and green if it's good. And then you're just going to color here and there how things are working and how things are going for you. And then you can decide what you're going to work on next if you want to build stable crews. Now, if you want my help to do this with you, there's a link in the description. It will show you what it looks like to work with us. If you like it, you can book a call. If you're not ready to book a call or you've just got some questions, find me on Instagram. The link is below this video too. So with that being said, I wish you good luck.